Or that's what it really comes down to. What way are you going to show up into your life today? Are you going to give yourself these excuses? Which, to me, excuses are, I don't know why I keep, when I say excuses, it's expectations keep coming to mind. It's like, I don't know. Like, there's something there. There's something there that just keeps on like, okay, this is the same. Why don't you, like, speak about that? You know? And so I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I will. you know, Excuses, expectations, you know, in a sense of saying it's like the reasoning, right? I suppose it's all the same thing, because like there's points in my life where I truly, truly am able to concentrate on the similarities and not the differences. I could go ahead and give you the lengthy dissertation or whatever it may seem appropriate in my eyes, because I get it. You don't get it. Why don't you get it? I don't get why you don't get it. Well, doesn't that kind of make sense? It's like, if you don't get it, how am I supposed to get that you don't get it? Now, I can go what may seem above and beyond, to clear away any of the distractions between the newcomer and the message, right? But essentially, it still comes down to the simplicity of itself. What is that? What exactly is that simplicity? You concentrate on the similarities and not the differences. To highlight, what I think or how I carry the message or how I attempt to, practice the principles in my affairs, essentially. And, it's about attraction rather than promotion. Absolutely. And in and of itself, the simplicity of, expectations are only for those that you can control. And it only is that of the simplicity of itself of who then deserves or has the right to forgive or to hold that forgiveness for and towards and apply it within. Well, it's all the same. It's you. It's the one essentially that you can control the attitude, right? It's about acting instead of reacting. Essentiality. I mean, there's a point in the simplicity of it, of how I carry my message, because it's never about, from this standpoint of religion and spirituality. Religion, you're acting like someone's going to come save you, and then you go to the other side of that, in a sense of saying, of spirituality, and you're the one that you are going to save. You're the one, that's going to come save you, basically. What is up? My name is, well, does it really make a difference? You know, do I really get the right to become the face of recovery? I mean, yeah, my recovery, like it's my responsibility to take action into my parts of my responsibility for the parts that I've added, because that's really what it kind of is, because in a simple way of looking at it, I am life. And so why is life happening this way? Well, it's because I'm life and I'm putting the work in, manifesting it, showing up for that miracle, whatever way that is, because it is as simple as that. And yet, simply to say, it's not like we didn't have faith before. And it's not like we didn't trust before, being an active part of recovery, because, to me, that's how I zen my garden, essentially. And yet, it simply says that in the AA book, you know, um, so this is, an episode, a moment, a season, whatever it may be to you, a message, because you always focus on the messenger and never the message. Oh, wait, hang on. That's like practicing personality before principles. That's like, you know, what is it? What is it? Attraction rather than promotion. Yeah, it's like promotion rather than attraction. Absolutely. I'm just saying, really, truly, and it is. And yet, this is an episode of Pancake Marathon. What's your flavor of recovery? Just for this moment, just for today. Wouldn't that be the same thing? Absolutely. It really, really kind of is, because there is a point. And what's that point? Well, we grow along spiritual lines. That's a good point, right? I'm just saying. And yet, it's it really, in a sense of itself, how do you practice the principles in all your affairs? I don't know. Oh wait, I do know. It's the only advice I think in recovery that's actually appropriate actually comes from the true face of recovery, which is, as I like to quote it or coin it or whatever it may be, or speak it into existence, and just through my experience, strengthen out my message. Is that of what recovery program are you within? The fellowship. What safe place do you find that it's appropriate at this time in your life to actually show up to your life, to actually put the work in and be willing, honest, and open, you know. And that what right now pops into my head, um, as my intuition says, no, don't get more coffee right now. Sit down and say this. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna do it. I didn't say it like that, but I'm like, okay. Oh, I'm glad that I'm listening to you today. And then they're like, then when I go and like actually perform, in that way, and I show up in my life, and for that miracle to just bam, because it's never about how you show up. It's never about, I haven't cleared away the wreckage of my past and I'm still trudging on. But down the line, I'm in my destiny, and I'm glad to be here. And I'm very, welcomed. And I'm, you know, joyous in that aspect of my life. Absolutely. To simply, highlight that of, well, isn't it amazing when you actually listen to your higher power? Oh, wait, hang on, let me put that in spirituality terms. Your intuition? What? Can we do that? Can we do that in recovery? Can we, like, speak how we want to? I don't really know. I think well, I just did. I am in recovery. So why can't you? There's so many points. And yet, see, this is what I have to give away. This is what I have to give. I, I can only give what I have, right? You expect so many things from me. Well, who doesn't do that? I'm just saying, right? Probably those in recovery, essentially, and all that fun, yay parts of life when you show up for that miracle. And yet, basically, it's essentially, and I just want to absolutely highlight too that, well, before I do, it's essentially, it's because my intuition's like, do it, say it. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna do it. You know, that of essentially that it's about the common welfare. The tradition one, essentially, right? And so, it's absolutely amazing in that aspect of what it is. You know, because when you really look at welfare, it's like, did I didn't I isn't that you know not working for stuff, and I just get it. It's yeah, it is. It really is. It's yeah, but see, that's the thing. That is the thing. It's tradition four. In a sense of saying, in the simplicity of just looking past the face value of the religious part of recovery, which are the words right there. You're not there to perfect the steps. You're there to practice them. You're there to perfect who you are. You're there to perfect taking responsibility for your actions. Absolutely. And letting go with all earnestness at hand and being fearless within it. Absolutely. Finding that willingness, honesty and openness on all aspects of life. That's truly what it comes down to. And so, yeah, I can highlight, oh my God. Yeah, you don't realize you're practicing communism when you're doing taxes? Or not taxes, when you're doing stocks. Somebody that puts 80% of the effort in and gets 20% of the yield to those that put 20% of the effort and then they get 80% of the yield. It's like, oh my God, how do you not realize that's communism yet? I get it. Not everybody is, well, what can seem as the simplest way of saying well to do and with it enough, and only at the level of, having a dirt floor and pretty much at that same sense, maybe having a pot to piss in because they're piss poor,
As
basically. Life has a point of just showing up for that miracle. It really is. You can act like, oh, I have nothing to offer. Okay, well, that's fun if you care to care. But is that true? You really don't have anything to offer. You have nothing to offer. Are you sure? Can't show up to your life and offer some healing to you. You can't show up to your life and be like, oh man, that past version of me is, oh my God, how did they ever eat? Because I remember when I was like, I was in the developing stages of being a barfly, like for real. Like, did you know that there's developing stages of that? It's like the same as, did you know? Have you ever broken it down in a sense and like the timeline of, oh, I gotta go get some alcohol today. I gotta go and do that. I gotta pay the legal fees to that drug dealer on the corner. If it's on the corner, I'm just saying, because not everybody's on the corner. But usually, even if it's a strip mall and it's, like a grocery store, it probably's on the corner. I'm just saying. So I don't know, but take what you like and leave the rest. I'm just saying, there probably is truly only one way in and one way out. I know they don't ever have it except for like the invisible sign that says, leave your baggage here. Right? I always see it when I'm there. I'm like, oh, here it is. Okay, bam. Right? And so, like, there's one way in and one way out. Oh, so that means, like, when you leave, pick up what you left, right? Leave it better than you found it. Don't leave your baggage there. Yes, from the energy standpoint, all that fun jazz and everything like that, tradition 7, that's how I carry that. Leave it better than you found it. It's not always about economic terms, right? Yes, we live in the, those points. All tools are amazing. Yes, we might be the only creatures in existence to pay to be on the planet we're on, but that's not true. There's points to where, it's a bartering aspect, just like, oh, did you farm today? Did you plant that seed? Did you eat that fruit and then you pooped out the seed and now it has enough nutrients, blah 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 blah, and now it's growing a beautiful forest. Oh, well, that's paying to be on that planet as well. Look at it differently. I'm just saying. That's what recovery is truly, truly all about. Getting to a point of looking at it differently and showing up to your life. Because it does not matter how you show up. It's about showing up. And so leave your BS at the door. Oh, I already know you're going to say being stupid because what else do you think it means? I'm just saying, because my BS now in recovery is being smart, being spectacular, being supportive, being of service. I'm just saying, absolutely. And it really, really comes down to the simple fact of pick up the wreckage of your life. Keep your house in order. Keep your side of the street clean. As I like to say, zen your garden, because that's what it's about. Truly and absolute. That is what is it about. And so, there's only one way in and one way out of any area. I mean, okay, whatever. You want to get complicated or you want to make it complicated? Because this is a simple program for complicated people. That's life. That's just life in a nutshell, essentially. Absolutely. I'm just saying, yeah, pick up that stuff when you leave and then give it away. Give it all away. Let go and let God. If it comes back to you, it probably was always yours. And this time, and hopefully you keep on doing it, you keep it with care this time. Because it's yours. It's you, ultimately. And so, that goes into just showing up to your life. It does not matter how you show up. That slogan, show up for the miracle. There's things before and after that. Just like in the absolute true meaning of a meeting, in a sense of saying, you know, as now the slogan is, the true healing happens after the meeting or before the meeting, which is what? What? I just got here today. It's my first day, and I don't even know what this means because don't even know how to stop using today because I just used or whatever is clever. I'm just you know, isn't it kind of funny how you change the voice like we're all like narrators and we're like, oh, this is just a highlight that this is different. For one, this is not me. Even it's even more funnier when it really is you, and you're like, but it just it's almost like we're playing out the chicken came before the egg or whatever. Or did the egg come before the chicken? It doesn't matter. It's still a chicken. I don't care what time, whatever comprehension level you're looking at it as. It's still a chicken. It's almost like saying, how much of a mustard seed do you need? Like I've asked that yesterday to one of my sponsees, and they're like, well, a mustard seed can, one mustard seed can move a lot. It's like, and I'm like, you're overcomplicating it. You got to keep it simple. And, then now, since they heard me say, Kiss, keep it simply simple, basically, because they're like, I don't like, keep it simply stupid, because what? Like, I get it. I really do. I'm like, I don't want to be called stupid. I don't know. I don't really find value in that at this moment, but hey, that's cool. Let's go blow up the world because we're stupid. But, because that BS of being stupid is just so powerful. Oh my God, it's so cunning, baffling, and powerful that I don't ever want to other than figure out my incomprehensible demoralization. And then when I do, I'm in a pitfall of horrible efforts of my part because that's not really showing up. That's just reacting. That's just, to me, being busy, to me, being too serious. Absolutely. Yet, I'm just saying, this is how I carry my message. Because I have experience. I got hope. And I absolutely still got some strength. I find each and every moment just for today, just for this moment. No more, no less. Just keep it simple. Absolutely. By kissing, by hugging, by not going nuts, through trust. Absolutely through if I need to halt. If I need to then see that it's all about Q-tip. Because I'm not that important in the sense of I don't have the right to steal anybody else's peace of mind or even accept what they give me because that's the same thing. In the same sense of that, I don't have the right to give mine away. No one deserves to do and have those things happen, those three things essentially, because your peace of mind, your higher power of your own understanding is everything. It really, really is. But if you don't show up to that miracle, it does not matter how you show up to that miracle. Show up. Be you. It's okay. Life sucks, and let's go on. But life doesn't suck. You're looking at it the wrong way. I will assure you, you're looking at it in a way, not the wrong way. There's points. Yet you're looking at it a way as, creating miserable, basically being misery, and you want some company. Well, no wonder you want company because you're miserable. And if you're miserable, you can associate yourself with being misery, then you can associate yourself with being life. Why is life happening like this? Because you're life. I'm just saying. Absolutely. It's that simple. It really, really is. But if you can't get out of your head and get out of your way, then how else are you supposed to not complicate anything? Why do you think it comes down to let go and let God? Because you're holding on too much. You're doing too much. You can't do this by yourself. Are you insane? Well, okay. You already know that, though. What are we really working towards? To become sane. And finding serenity and neutral, natural, neutral state of emotions where we don't judge things and it just happens beautifully because, well, why not? I mean, you can go ahead and answer why not all you want, but why not stop answering why not and just start answering the why part? Because the day ends in a Y. It's never how you start; it's how you finish. So maybe, you are who you're around, right? Oh, okay. So maybe it's time to change your ways. Maybe, I don't know. I can't answer that for you. I know it's my time. Every day, I'm changing my ways. I'm working off my strikes of my past. I'm like, oh, how can I change it? How can I change my actions so that history doesn't repeat itself? Whoa, it's incredible. Yes, yes, thank you. I am. I love myself more today than I did yesterday. Like, there's a point where I realized that I didn't know how to love myself. I mean, if I did, I wouldn't go and abuse myself. I, I would not go and attempt to kill myself. You know, because we commit suicide surely but slowly, right? Instilling everybody's ability to be me, of where I am the best teacher for that. And so now life will never move on because I'm wallowing in my incomprehensible demoralization, acting like I don't know what I'm doing because, I'm just saying like I don't, so it's not like really acting, but for sure it's the actor scenario kicking in all way, shape, or form. Absolutely. And so, and yet, there's so many points where I'm like, I don't really, that's not really what I wanted to talk about today. It's not me. This is not me. I didn't say I don't know what I'm doing. I don't. In the simple way of saying what I do know is to practice the principles in all my affairs. And yet I gotta live life on life terms. I must do other things. I must, and I get to. And so, somebody needed to hear this. And that's the fantastic part about listening to your inner voice, that part that you get to work on, the part that you're actually focusing on, the actual true meaning of life. I'm just saying, um, to where it's your intuition, it's your higher power, it's you just showing up in your life and really working together. Absolutely. You can't do this by yourself, but you can carry a message. And what is that? And how and who gets to carry a message? You and your higher power. That's a group. It only takes two to have a meaning. And no one ever said that you and that rock, essentially, whatever, step five, because, I'm just saying, because some higher powers are nature, essentially. I'm just saying. Yet, the power of step five is I can't hear the rock right now. I need somebody else to interpret. Oh, because I can't even hear myself. I'm just listening and going through the motions. I'm like, oh, I did it again. Yeah, I don't know how many times I'm like, oh, I did it again. Oops. I guess I get to make an apology here, promptly, as fast as I can, because I don't want history to repeat itself. I don't want to ripple some anger out into the world because of me being a poop head. I'm like, oh, God. Oh, my God. I just planted the seed of being a poop head. I did it again. But, essentially, this is life. Who do you want to be today? I don't know. I don't even know who I want to be today. I just want to show up, do what I do, which is, be the best I can, finding joy and love in myself. Absolutely. It really, really is. It's a miracle. Miracles happen. But, the true miracle of healing is seeing that if I'm willing, so is God. That good early direction. I'm just saying, it's not like God's not always willing. It's not like, you know, um, that last episode or scene or whatever it is in the movie Serenity, where that guy's like, oh, all right, you already know I'm going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Why? What's the point? What is the point? And they're like, well, it's because, yeah, this is true. I already do know what you're going to say, but I like to hear you say it. And that's how I like to, think my higher power is when I'm like, I communicate because they already know what's going to happen. Oh, the story of life is already written. It's like, is it? It doesn't matter. I can go into this timeline or this parallel or in this dimension or whatever. And it's like, oh, that's not the same. It's different. Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't realize that until I realized it. And then I still don't realize anything. Just saying. So, it's I don't know. What do you want to do today? Who do you want to be? What's your why? Why do you do your things? What? is your reasoning. It's up to you. I'm just saying. Yeah, just show up to the miracle. Doesn't matter how you show up. No one ever said you had to show up in the most perfect sainthood of everything. No, it just says start and see where you can finish. Absolutely. By practicing principles on your affairs. And at the same time, simply to say, going from there. So, anywho's, this has been, an episode of Pancake Marathon. What's your flavor of recovery? Hopefully you find, you know, something in the sense of itself to where I lined something up for somebody. Because, that's kind of how I like to conclude the podcast. And at the same sense, ultimately, hopefully you find something that requires you to keep coming back, whatever that may be. And simply to say, your shoes do fit just right. You do deserve to take up space. And it's okay to let that hurt go. Because maybe it's time to change your ways. To stop trying to answer, did the chicken come before the egg? It doesn't matter. It's still chicken. No matter what way you look at it, it really, really is. Because it's just the DNA of that mustard seed that will move a mountain. It's not the whole thing. I'm just saying. And yet, I love you. I love me a little bit more today than I did before. And yet, at the same sense, hopefully you do too. And to kind of sum up the whole aspect of my life and how recovery kind of can be, and, to include, the high power in some things, my past, and into my strength of now, and that is of, the hope, which is the future, because sometimes that's all we have is hope, and that's why we're doing it. I'm just saying, to the simple fact of the end song in this, or whatever that may be, is kind of how it sums up what I feel about recovery and how I shall go from there. Absolutely. Thank you. Have an amazing one, because aren't you? I don't know. How will you see your why today? Absolutely.